we did not come to Atlanta thinking, yo, you're gonna meet T.I. Like, no. You know what's funny, bro? So I come back to work like on Tuesday, and I get on a call with like one of the guys at work. He's like, "Hey, bro, like, how's Atlanta, man? Did you meet T.I.?" And then I said, "Yes, I actually did." He's just like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude." I'm like, "No, I swear I actually did." So I tell them the whole story, and they're like laughing their heads off.
Feel you, though.
100, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't already know, this is Hustle Over Everything Podcast. Welcome to Hustle Over Everything Podcast, where we share stories, tips, and tactics from entrepreneurs who have done it. Today is a recap of Investfest. You know, over the last weekend, we spent it in Atlanta, having a blast.
Well, as I like to call it, Atalanta.
Oh my God, bro.
Guys, start saying Atalanta.
I'm never saying that.
You know, shout out to Paperboy.
They don't get on your ass for saying that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, bro, you know the reason I got that name is there's a team in Serie A in the Italian league, and there's a team called Atalanta. So when I used to play on random on FIFA, we'll play like Serie A, you know, go to the Premier League. But whenever we go to Italy, there's something we do as like when you're playing your boy, you do chop chop suey. So chop chop suey is like you hit the random button. If you don't like it, you hit the random button again. And then the Sui, the third one, is you actually have to play with that team that you took the third strike on. So I remember like one time I chop suied it, and then Atalanta came through. So I played with Atalanta. So every time I see Atlanta, I'm just thinking Atalanta. But I add like the emphasis to it. The Atalanta. Sounds so foreign, bro.
It's all,
like a mixture of foreign and African in it.
Dog.
That's like your pops would say Atlanta, man. Like, Atalanta. We're going to Atalanta.
Really? That's your pops would say?
That's what. No, I mean, like a bunch of African people, like when they're talking, like when I hear my aunties, you know, like I don't know if your aunties ever do this, but you wake up in the morning, your mom is like playing gospel music. You know, you got to take out like the cleaning bucket, and they start cleaning, and she's talking to like family back home, and then you're coming downstairs, and you're just like your eyes are still full of like sleep boogers, whatever it is. And then your mom just dashes you the phone to talk to your auntie back home. And it's like 8 a.m. in the morning. You haven't eaten anything. And they're just hyped to hear you talk. But you're just like still trying to pick it up. So it's like, oh, yeah, you know, we went to Atalanta and we just came back with some food and groceries. How are you? Otherwise, you know, that's the type of, that's what you're hearing in the morning, bro. So shout out to moms, you know, gospel tracks, cleaning on Saturday mornings, man. Good memories. But yeah, man, Atalanta, dog. Go ahead and talk to me,
bro. Let's recap, man. That was insane. First things first, like actually getting there was.
Let's start Friday. Like, where do you want to kick it off?
All right, yeah. So first off, getting to America is very easy. You know,
extremely easy. Yeah. We've been hoodwinked.
If you think traveling to America is hard, it's not traveling to America that's hard. It's getting back that's the challenge. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, getting to America is very, very easy. America is very accepting. They're like, all right, sign this paper and get in, you know, and you hop in.
They didn't even ask us at the gates because, you know, we had our negative tests. I had them in my passport. I was like on edge the whole time. I'm like, okay, where am I going to go through these screening protocols to get on this plane? So we go through the American border of the side. We talk to the guy. He's just like, hey, where are you guys going? Who do you represent? We're like, Uplift Media. Where you going? Business conference. Do you have more than $10,000? If you have anything stuck, we're like, yeah. We line up. We go through security. They take our shoes, laptops out, keys out, everything out. And man, we're boarding on Air Canada to go to Atlanta. And I looked at you in the chair. I'm like, bruv, they didn't even ask us anything about our negative tests, which was surprising. How do you feel about that?
They just threw it in. They just say, all right, get in, dog. Like it made me realize like how strong capitalism is. Like it made me feel like, oh, they just care about the money. They don't really care about the well-being of people. Like that's what it really felt like to start. You know, they didn't really care about none of that. They just said, all right, get in, come into the States, we got you. You know, get in and let's go. So that was first, man. That was like my first question. How to make you feel personally, bro?
I mean, being like coming in and then getting the COVID-19 antigen test of Shoppers Drug Mart, I was like, okay, boom, we're ready to go. So the one thing that the media does, the media tells you so much about, the border's locked, you can't fly, you got to show this, you got to show that. So I've been conditioned from hearing so much outside noise, whether it's social media, whether it's the news, that when you're traveling, there's so many like barriers to go through before you enter that plane. So I was ready. I was mentally prepared. I was like, you know what? I woke up. I'm like, you know what? Oh, don't worry, you're good. But just be ready before you board on that plane. There's going to be so much things you got to go through. When I get there, it just felt like a regular flight to America. Like, that's what it felt like. And I was shocked. I was like, okay, is the media telling us one thing, but the reality of what the actual situation is actually false? So I was thinking, even coming the way back, we're going to go through the same experience. But we both experienced, like, the Canadian border is so militant.
Yeah,
I was scared. I was looking at you as we're walking out the airport. I was like, man, Al, I don't want to get pulled back here in case, hey, come back. You got to do this. Because we got tested and everything, but we'll get on that later. But I mean, I was shook. I was shook at how easy it was to go to the States from the Canadian side to land there.
Facts. Bless me.
Bless up.
Once we got there, though, it was pretty relatively easy to get around, get to specific places. We got a car relatively easily. So just for anybody that's thinking about traveling in the U.S. during the panini, there is
panorama.
There is it's relatively easy to travel and get around. We rented a car from Enterprise, no problem, and made our way over to like our hotel. Smooth check-in, no problems there. We didn't go to the Investfest on Friday because that was a VIP night, and that was over $1,000 just to go to like their
it looks so lit.
The talk and the Jagged Edge, fabulous performance. But we definitely did go on Saturday to start, and that was eventful, bro. What was your top 10 moments from Investfest? Not top 10.
Top 10.
Top 5.
Jeez, man. This sounds like we're trying to do Sports Center top 10.
Right. Yeah. Let's just say top moments, actually. Like
top moments Saturday, from the whole weekend.
From Saturday. It started on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it was awesome seeing. First, shout out to Earn Your Leisure, Troy Millings, and Rashad Bilal. First, I got to give them credit.
Facts.
So, guys, the Investfest, what it is, it's presented by two podcasters, Troy Millings, as I said, Rashad Bilal. They are from Earn Your Leisure podcast. They are a podcast that's been popping up for the past couple of years. They have a massive following, and they focus on financial education and teaching people how to make money. And they're focused on really helping the community, the Black community and minorities, really take their financial game to the next level so they can actually set up their futures, their families' futures up correctly so everybody can have generational wealth. So they've really become trailblazers in the community. They're like the voice of finance, and they've taken things to the next level. So they set up Investfest. The Investfest was held at the Georgia World Congress Center in Atlanta. And apparently they did this with a month of planning, which I could not believe. Like 1 month to pull out something like that. So for our Toronto listeners, I'll compare it to going to the Metro Toronto Convention Center, having that much space, having a section of it dedicated to vendors, and then another part of it dedicated to fireside chats, and then there's like a big audience part of that. And there's about 4,000 people in that room, and then you have your vendors where it's your networking. Bro, it looked so poppin', from branding to security to ticketing to food to the talks. Getting to my top moments, I think it was just so great just to see the turnaround of like people coming to support them. It was awesome seeing people wearing Earn Your Leisure t-shirts, assets over liabilities. My boy Ryan Leslie, we got to hear him speak and what his vision is. We're mentoring women. So that was awesome. I know coming in, I was like, bro, like, this is how the weekend's going to go. I want to talk to Ryan Leslie. And you're like, man, it's going to be difficult. It wasn't difficult, but, you know, I could dream a little bit. But it was awesome just seeing the speakers and the amount of respect everybody had for Troy and Rashad for what they've done. Personally, for me, we went out to the strip. You know, guys, I met T.I. Yep. I met T.I.
Oh, you guys, you gotta. All right, when they go there, let's get there.
No. Okay, so let me wrap it up. Let me wrap it up. My top 3 moments. So, top 3 moments was actually being at the event, seeing what is possible for us because we want to do our events in the near future. The second thing was learning about real estate. The people who they had on real estate and actually talking about how you can actually get started in real estate and hearing their stories. I want to apply that back here in Toronto. So that was awesome. Took a lot of notes from that. The next thing was, I think, just being in Atlanta, bro. Being in the city, being around culture, being around, Black people, like, you know, you're going anywhere. You just feel like you're at home, right? So seeing the guys pull this off was awesome because it inspired me. Learning from the speakers, that was on point, especially the real estate segment, and being in the city of Atlanta and enjoying all the hot spots. Like, we did everything. We went, we partied, we went out, we chilled with your family, we went to the event, we drove around, we had a car so we could actually see places as we're driving and like taking in the city. So it felt like a full packed weekend of learning, festivities, and just interacting with people, bro. So 10 out of 10 weekend for me.
No, most definitely. All right, so let's talk about you meeting T.I. Let's knock this out there.
Let's get it in.
All right, so break it down for people from your perspective. I want to hear your perspective first.
So, guys, you know, so you can't go to Atlanta without going to Magic City. So we went to Magic City. Al and I, we would take out money, like we take a stack of ones. You know, we're about to make it rain in the club. And we go in there, we do our thing, you know, we dance, we get like whatever. It's a vibe. It's like, surprisingly, the room is small.
Yeah, it was
so small.
Shocked.
So when you hear like guys like Drake, like these guys at like Magic City, Future, just imagine a small room with a bunch of girls dancing and making it rain. But it was such a vibe. So we're like, man, you know, we got an event to go to tomorrow morning. We're pretty faded. Alex is tired because he was napping before we even left to go to the venue. So it's becoming like 1:30. We're like, all right, bro, let's cut. So we're like, all right, bro, order the Uber and then, we'll head there. So in the Magic City parking lot, a black Suburban pulls up. I'm like, oh, okay, like this is just, I mean, everyone in the ATL has a black Suburban, so I'm not getting amped over that. This guy walks out in a suit. So I'm like, oh, like, okay, this guy just like, you know, he's come out to have fun, whatever. I didn't pay no mind and I didn't even see him properly. So he turns around and I tell Alex, I'm like, bro, like, that's T.I. And then Alex like, oh shit, man. And I'm like, bro, let's go talk to him. Alex like, nah. I'm like, bro, like, let's just go. It's like, no. So I go, I'm like, you know, F it. Like, if Al's not coming with me, I'm doing it because I don't know when I'm back to the city again, and I don't know when I'll have a chance to say what's up to T.I. So I walk over him. The security guards around there, like big guys, right? And I start calling T.I. I'm like, T.I. And I didn't factor this in, but Alex and the security guards.
No. Give your perspective. All right. Give your perspective.
So T.I. was taking some stuff out of the boot of the car. It looked like some luxury item type of bag. I don't know if it was like Cartier or something like that, but it looked like one of the luxury brands. So he's walking inside to Magic City. He closes the boot, starts walking, and I start trailing behind him. I'm like, T.I. He turns around.
Hold on, did you say the boot? You meant the trunk?
Well, like, so Kenyan, UK, there's boot.
The boot is the trunk, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, keep
so
going.
it's another way of calling the boot, right? So
okay.
He closed the trunk of the car, guys, right? So he starts walking. I'm like, oh shit, he's walking. So I start getting loud. I'm like, yo, T.I., right? And then he turns around, like, who the hell's calling my name, right? And then I forgot what I said, but I'm like, hey man, just wanted to say what's up. Just wanted to meet you. He's like, all right. So he gives me a firm handshake. looks me dead in the eye, like holds my hand for like maybe 4 or 5 seconds, and then he's just like, yo, you have a good night, something like that. So I let him go. I come back around with a security guard, and Alex is sitting. Security guard goes like, you know you got lucky, right? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you know, he usually when people see him here, he never stops for anyone. He just keeps on moving. I'm like, word? He's like, word. He's like, you know, like from the sounds of it, it looked like you knew him. So like that's why I kind of didn't do anything about it. Like, you sounded like you knew him. I'm like, really? And I talked to Alex. I'm like, bro, did I sound like I was calling him like I knew? It's like, yeah, bro. Like,
all right. So now comes my perspective.
So I come back. I'm like, dog, I just met T.I. I'm like, bro, anytime we go if we meet a celeb, I'm gonna be the groupie one because Al just always likes to be too cool for school. So he's the too cool for school guy. I'll take the blame. I'll take the fanboy, and I'm okay with that because I know it can lead to opportunities, and I don't mind looking whack by being a fanboy because, you know, we gotta get these guys on the pod, but whatever. But Alex, bruv.
All right, so let me give my perspective.
Talk to me.
So we're at Magic City. This is not 1:30 p.m. This is like 3 o'clock in the morning now. Remember, because this is when we're leaving. Oh shit,
it was that late?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember, take this into consideration. The security guards have AK-47s.
Yeah, this is an open carry state, guys.
Open carry state, AK-47s, and T.I. comes there, and it's late at night, and so we're like, is this the best time to approach T.I. to say what's up? You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from. You know, like, hey, if it was Investfest and T.I. is there, of course we're gonna approach. You know, but at Magic City at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a different T.I. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm gonna get the business respect that we're gonna get from meeting T.I. You know, at 3 a.m. in the morning. And that's why I didn't really want to go, because like it's not the right time. Like I like to meet people on a mutual ground. You know, like when we met Chameleonaire, we met Chameleonaire in Afrotech. That was on mutual ground. We were in the VIP section of Afrotech, and we talked tech with Chameleonaire, exchanged numbers, and it was like a perfect exchange, you know. And compare that to meeting T.I., I'm like, nah, this ain't the right time to be on that kind of wave, you know.
But bro, Atlanta.
Hold on. Let me land. And then my guy Owen goes up, right? And the way he said he called T.I. was not the way he called T.I. My man goes to T.I. and is like, T.I. And I'm like, bro, what is this guy doing, dog? Yo, he's about to get shot. so I'm hearing, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna go sideways. And T.I. standing there, and he's standing sideways, not paying Owen any attention. So Owen keeps calling, T.I. And T.I. turns and is like, yes. And he turns with the most like annoying like state of posture possible. And every security guy's like, oh, what's going to happen? So he walks up, and you know what I deep is that T.I. realizes that Owen does not have an Atlanta accent, and is like, okay, this is not a person that's a regular Magic City, Atlantan, whatever the people from Atlanta people call themselves.
Atlanta.
Bruh, you're going to get someone on your ass, man. You keep saying that, people are going to get on your ass. And yeah, so that's what I'm like, yo, you out here doing your thing, you know, like I wasn't going out like that, you know. So that's why I'm like, all right, go, you want to go for it, bro. But yeah, you could say you met T.I. ish.
Can't take that away from me.
Ish. Yeah.
Bro, like, what are the odds, bro? Like, honestly, I mean, the odds are kind of high, but
very high to see T.I. Magic
very
City.
High, but like, that particular night, it's not like we can say we could have gone next week and he could not have popped up. So it was the right place, right moment, just right day, and we did not come to Atlanta thinking, yo, you're gonna meet T.I. Like, no. You know what's funny, bro? So I come back to work like on Tuesday, and I get on a call with like one of the guys at work. He's like, hey, bro, like, how's Atlanta, man? Did you meet T.I.? And then I said, yes, I actually did. He's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. I'm like, no, I swear I actually did. So I tell them the whole story, and they're like laughing their heads off. They're like, no way, man. I'm like, yeah. So It's just funny how he asked me, yo, did you meet T.I.? Like, out of nowhere. I'm like, yes, I actually did, bruv. So, but yo, that handshake he gave Broski was like firm. He just is like, yo, respects my guy. So he knows us, he knows the face. So yeah, man, you know.
If we meet T.I. again, please do not bring this up and ask if he remembers you. Please do not do that. Do not.
So
do not.
I gotta reintroduce myself.
Reintroduce yourself all the way through. Don't be like, you remember me, man? We met at Magic City in Atlanta. No, do not do that, please. Please do not do that.
Hey, he might say, yo, I met you at, like, what if he brings it up first? I'll be like,
if he brings it up first, he brings it up first. But please do not.
You're probably like, how can you do your T.I. accent?
I can't do a T.I. accent. All I know is that he says long ass words, you know. Like, I do indeed. You know, it's like he talk like that. I do.
Yeah.
Indeed I do. But
Tip.
But not like,
Tip Harris.
Yeah, but please, yeah. When we meet T.I. again, you know, speak that into existence.
When he comes on the pod, bro.
When he comes on the podcast,
yeah.
Please do not.
Because he will come on the pod, guys.
Remember that time? Please do not. All right,
he'll be here.
So let's talk about let's get back to Investfest though. Some of the panels that we really liked was the Max Maxwell, I think his name is. The gentleman that was talking about real estate. That was one of my top favorites as well. And we really had some principles that were, you know, that transferred across businesses, you know, that I need to apply to my agency. This, like, you know, recording more of myself, firing myself from different positions, hiring right, and you know, treating it like a scalable company and getting myself out. You know, so I was like, man, it was so good to hear another black man say that, because it's like, all right, he's done it and he got to the next level. Now it's time for me to do it and get to the next level as well. You know, it
was like a you can do it too moment.
Sure, yeah, I would say that most definitely.
Shout to Pharrell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, it was dope to see. It was dope to see. I feel like next year they'll probably have Steve Stout. They'll probably have
Hove,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, like the way Earn Your Leisure is moving, man, like it just seems like there's endless possibilities for them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They got so much support. I mean, everything they got the Midas touch right now.
For sure. Like, and I know there must be a ton of white people trying to get into. Like, I know Gary Vee must have been like banging at the door. Let me in,
bro.
Let me in, guys.
I'm trying to hack culture.
I'm trying to hack culture, guys. You know, I'll give value. Let's talk about NFTs.
Yo, man, Gary Vee would die to be at Investfest.
You know what I'm saying?
He'll kill.
You know?
Shout
out to Gary Vee.
Shout out to Gary Vee, man. Shout out to culture hacking, bro. We actually spoke about this as we were vlogging outside of
What do you think about his take on culture hacking? Let's talk about that.
I just think it's culture vulturing, bro. That's what it is. It's not culture hacking. I think black culture is popping. It's hot. Black culture is American culture, bro. Like, plain and simple. Food, dancing, music, sports, wear, lingo, everything. It starts everything. Every product, every platform that we're on right now. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse. Okay, Clubhouse, man, let's bring that to top of the list, bruv. Clubhouse, all these platforms, all these businesses, all are built behind of black culture. So when you hear a guy like Gary Vee talk, he knows to really have influence. He really needs to be within the in crowd of black Twitter, black culture. That's why you saw him in all these videos with Nip, what was that rapper you told me again, bro?
Jeezy,
Gunna, and he's just talking to them and recording them. By him being in their presence, to us, it looks, oh wow, Gary Vee's like cool with these guys. Okay, I guess he is that guy to listen to, because black culture is hot. It's the main thing. It's the best way to market. It's the best target group to go to if you're really looking to get your product going. I wrote an article about this, about Cash App and how they really infiltrated the whole space, and now it's part of culture. Cash App me, right? Venmo didn't do that. Venmo went to like the peer-to-peer like Uber strategy, but that didn't work. But they went to Joe Budden. They went to, who else did they go to? A bunch of different folks to really promote the app. So I say that to say this. Gary Vee knows what he's doing. He knows by being with the culture, he will get a lot of love.
Got you.
What's your take, bro? Before
I want to pick your brain a little bit more. Quick, okay, all right.
Yeah, take a pause real quick.
Let's take a quick pause. Let you go to the bathroom and come back and keep going. So, yeah, bro, let's get back into it.
Let's get it.
So, bro, let me give you some pushback. So, you know, he also would hack culture in terms of like Pokemon cards, NFTs, you know, Star Wars. Like you had that Baby Yoda. He was like one of the people behind Baby Yoda, or like peanut butter, where he had that baby peanut butter in the Super Bowl ad. You know, so it's not just black culture. He hacks all cultures. You know what I'm saying? So let me give you some pushback there. That's not just about black culture. It's about a culture around a specific thing that he tries to hack to, you know, leverage that for monetary gain, not good. You know, so that's kind of the pushback I could give. It's not just that. Like if you look at his ads on VaynerMedia.com, he kind of goes deeper into that and shows what he's done. So it's not just, so he'll have Gatorade ads, Pepsi ads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
But when you say the culture, bro, what comes to mind?
So at first I used to think black culture, and that's what I'm trying to like show you. Like, there's different, like Star Wars culture isn't black culture.
Of course, no, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? So is Kool-Aid Jam black culture?
Kool-Aid Jam?
Kool-Aid, yeah. Ish. You know what I'm saying?
Vicious.
So
everybody hates Chris. That's what comes to mind, right? You know, Julius. You can't let you drop a little drop of Kool-Aid. That's like 3 cents a drop.
Don't kill me. Is that his pops that would say that?
You're like, that's 99 cents of peanut butter you just wasted there, boy.
Yeah.
Because you're wasting food, right? So he's so frugal with everything. So, I mean, if you drop a little Kool-Aid, bro, like, shout out to Julius, man. Julius or Mr. Omar. Tragic.
Yeah, word. So
but yeah, man, I hear you. I hear you on that, man. You make a lot of sense. You know, predominantly when you think about the culture, you think about the most popular culture, which is, of course,
black culture,
influenced by black culture. So back to the whole Gary Vee thing, when, you know, yeah, you bring a good point about the cards and the Pokemon and whatever. But the thing that stood out to me when he said the culture, he started hanging out with all these rappers and influencers within the community to really be cool with them. That he's not just like another like business guy on, you know, Madison Avenue, just talking about business. Like he is hip with the in crowd. So that's where I was coming from with it. Yeah. But I see your point. You make sense.
Yeah. But at the same time, like Star Wars culture doesn't belong to anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that gets pillaged like black culture does. So, you know, you make points too, but I definitely feel like he is equal opportunist culture appropriator, or, you know, someone who leverages that for the brands he works with. Like if you look at VaynerMedia.com, like you'll see, you know, Kevin Hart, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union. You know, there's not as much white people on the platform as there is black people. It's not white is black, or it's like small influencers who went viral, but it's not as much black people. So we both have points here, and it's real. It's real, and it's a thing that once someone gets hot, white people will start knocking on the doors and ask them to represent their brands without giving them any type of ownership or participating in their brands. So it's an important conversation we should have.
Word.
So now let's keep going though with this recap, you know. And I don't think this talk's gonna be like a whole hour. Like I think it's probably like
40 minutes,
45. You know, but let's talk about Sunday. You know, so we kind of wrapped up Saturday. We had some really good talks. Some of them that we missed.
Oh my god,
we missed Wall Street Trapper, which was a big one. And we also missed Ian Dunlap, which is another big one. And Well, and I'm sad I missed those two. You know, I need to catch the recordings of those.
Let them know Wagwan, bro. Why did we miss those recordings? Let's take it back to the beginning when Alex Whip was making the bookings.
Well, no, we missed Ian and Wall Street because we were late. You know what I'm saying?
Was that in the morning? By the way, like
they're in the morning.
Perhaps?
They're in the morning.
They're in the morning. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were having breakfast because we were out like late at night, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So we had breakfast.
It's a sunglasses and Advil type of morning, guys.
Exactly. So we got there late, and looking back, I'm like, man, I feel like we pushed it a little too much. I'm like, dang, like I'm not saying we should have done it. I'm saying we pushed it a little too much because we were late to Investfest, and that's what we came there for. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn. I missed Ian speak, and I really want to learn more about stocks. I feel like I need someone to personally sit me down and be like, this is what stocks you need to invest in. This is what stocks really are. Like I still need to learn more. Like even though I'm investing in, you know, QQQ and crypto and Air Canada and a little bit of Apple, and like I still like I'm getting my feet wet, but like I still want to like I think I need someone to sit me down. Like I'm like a person-to-person learner. Mm-hmm. So I was really looking forward to that. Hopefully I can find a recording of that to learn more from Ian and Wall Street Trapper, because they're serious. We met Wall Street Trapper and took a picture with him, you know, and hopefully we can get him on the podcast. That would be a great conversation. You know, his story is incredible. So, that was just why we missed that. That was to answer your question. On the day 2, though, we did get to see a few really good panels. We got to see Julian, who is a multifamily unit investor. We got to see a panel on Airbnb and Turo, and it's that sharing economy platform industry. You know what I'm saying? So it was really good to learn from them. I think the most insightful one was multifamily units, just because like learning that when you're going to get a multifamily unit, that they account for the profit that you'd get from a multifamily unit in your actual income, so you can increase the down payment that you'd have. Is such a big jam that I was like, wow, like why am I not looking to get a multifamily unit? You know, because for example, if me and my girl have $10K that we put together, and now we have $20K to invest in a down payment. For a multifamily unit, you can, include the profit, and that could be like say $30K. And instead of getting a place that only has $20K for a down payment, you can now get a place that has $50K, or 50 plus the 20. So that's 70 as a down payment, which is a lot more, right? So I was like, damn. That's incredible. I should have known that, you know. So that's why I'm happy to be there. You know, it's super important to be in rooms where you're not the smartest one. You know, as cliche as it sounds, like you hear it all the time. If you're the smartest one in the room, then you're in the wrong rooms. You know, and
wrong room.
It's so true. Like I definitely did not feel like the smartest one in the room. Definitely did not feel like the richest person in the room.
It's very humbling, right?
Of course, yeah. And it was just good to be in those spaces where, you know, you can learn from people, you can network. We met some really interesting people that we can't wait to bring on the pod and show you and talk to you. So yeah, man, I'm excited about that. So most definitely. What about you, bro? What do you think of Sunday?
Sunday, I mean, everything from what you've said and what I mentioned earlier, especially the real estate panel, like it was so eye-opening to me, because I think when we think about real estate, we view it from a very one-dimensional way, especially if you're a rookie coming into it. The thing about real estate, guys, is you really have to do your homework. And one thing that stood out to me, there are deals that look like good deals, and there are bad deals which look like they're deals that look bad, but they're actually great deals. It just depends on how you position it. Mm-hmm. So my biggest takeaway was, you know, when I came in, I always saw real estate as this one-dimensional way. You know, you can take advantage of the first home buyers availability the government gives and buy a home, put some tenants in there and make money. But there's so many other ways that you can actually get real estate property without really needing the upfront capital. And one thing that stood out to me was I even wrote it down here. There's something that when you're looking for anything in life, there's something called a success triangle, right? There's knowledge and experience, money, and opportunity. So if you're getting into real estate, you first have to be an opportunity person. You have to go do the gritty work, in the trenches, finding opportunities that you think could be a solid steal that has high upside. Now you don't need to go find the money, knowledge, and experience. You can easily attain that. You can easily, okay, I know someone with money, I know someone with experience, and they can help me put this deal together. Start from there. With as little as you have, start from there. So when he broke that down from even Cesar Pena from New Jersey, right? They dropped so much game on how you can really accumulate property by actually just being a great person who knows how to assess deals. So if you're coming into real estate, you need to be someone who understands how to assess a deal. And that's one thing I picked up on all of them. They know the angles. They can see a house. They can look at it. That's a beat up property. It's $200K, but I know in 5 years I can get that for $700K. You as a person coming into real estate, you're not going to be able to learn that from year one. You have to really be in this game for the long haul. And if you're going to real estate, I mean, everybody knows it's a long-term play, but I think you just really have to be mentally aware of other forces at play that you can really use to your advantage, which is knowing the deals, knowing to find the money, knowing who to call, who to leverage for their experience. And then you can find yourself building wealth over time. His name was, what's his name? The guy
Chris Senegal?
Yeah, the one who started out, he has a bunch of employees. He started off just searching for that one deal, and now he has over many different properties.
So there's Chris, there's Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Yeah.
That's him.
Maxwell, yeah.
Maxwell. He was really inspired because if you look at this guy, he started from just nothing. And he just built himself up deal after deal after deal. And his business is doing $800K in revenue a year just from sourcing good deals. So that was really inspiring. It really gave me a lot of confidence, and it just helped me change. It was a paradigm shift for me. I cleaned the way of thinking, and I put on a new hat of thinking. And, my old thinking was right, but it just exposed me to a new way of seeing things that I wasn't really aware of before.
Yeah. Max had a lot of big gems. So I'm happy that I got to see that, because that's really important, Yeah. And that kind of brings me to one of the things that I think still needs to happen is, having those small tables, because having these big rooms, well, I don't know if it could happen in a room like this, right? Because it's interesting, with a panel like this is great, but being able to actually ask questions and have a Q&A, I think will make it so much better, hold up. I don't think it's sneezing. All right, never mind. I thought I was going to sneeze. When someone's so far on stage and there's 4,000 people in the room, you don't get the chance to really ask questions. You don't really get a chance to interact with the guest. It's kind of just they come. There it is. And they, you listen and they just move on. There's still, I think, a big opportunity to interact with guests and really have them have a more in-depth conversation. I think could be a lot more impactful for people. So this lets me know that the opportunity is still out there, versus just coming in, sitting down. But I just wanted to mention that, because when people, even with Sleepers for Suckers, David Chance, people were supposed to text questions in, but barely anybody did it for the Q&A in his panel. And I just feel like it's so far removed that there isn't a feeling of I can ask a question, I can, be valid and won't embarrass myself. if I ask the question, you know? So yeah, that's kind of like some of my thoughts on that, as well. And what do you think, what lessons do you learn in terms of the conference itself? Like, what do you think they could have improved on?
Yo, edit that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Burp?
Yeah, I just like burped, bro. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Things I think they could have improved on. I think the conference room was really cold. It was really cold.
Oh, the panel.
They made
Yeah.
like the venue where everyone was like listening to the fireside chats. It was freezing, especially since everyone is like dressed in shorts and t-shirts and everything, and like they cranked up the AC in there. It made it so hard to really enjoy the talks because I found myself just rubbing my skin just so I can generate body heat so I can stay warm. So that's one thing I think they could have done better. I think having a pamphlet of the itinerary would have helped a lot more. We were looking for like the break down the talks, the times and everything, but we had to go to universe.com, like the ticket website, to see where it was at, and it wasn't even communicated. So we were just like walking around aimlessly like, okay, where is the thing to watch these? What's the timings for this? So that was that. I think that was one thing they could have like really improved upon. But man, for what they did in that amount of time, I just think it was like really well executed, man. Really, really well executed. To find staff, to find vendors, to book everyone that they booked in that short amount of time, because people have so much going on that you need to book them way in advance for these type of talks, which goes to show that people really wanted to support them. So they canceled everything to get them there.
Most definitely. No, I think it was probably one of the first of its kind that's gonna last a decade, and it's gonna permeate through like the world. I think it's gonna be like a Investfest type of thing that happened in Toronto. I think it's gonna be one that happens in the UK. I think it's gonna be one that happens in Africa, where artists, you know, financial literacy and, you know, culture can combine together, you know, and have something that's just for the people strictly, so to get them to that next level in their life. Because that's what's been needed. That's been the gap. That's been what people have been preying on to, you know, leverage for themselves to get monetary gain. So now it's time for that pendulum to switch and us to have that you know, monetary gain. Point blank. Period. Let's work towards wrapping up, man.
I got a question for you,
up?
bro. Do you have any regrets about the event?
I feel like we should have went earlier. You know, like I feel like on Sunday, I was laying in bed and I was like, man, like I feel like I should have just ordered Uber.
Were you just social media surfing?
Nah, I was just I was like, you know, hungover, and I was like, I was still sleeping. Let me figure out. Like, I was just groggy. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I should have just got up ASAP and been like, fuck
Get
breakfast.
into the shower, you know, it wakes you up.
You know, let's just go straight there and network more, you know, and leverage your time. And I feel like we should have left one of the panels earlier and gone to network, you know, because that could have been a little bit better of an experience. But I felt sick though, so I had to like spend some time in the washroom getting myself together, and luckily it worked because I was feeling groggy as hell, you know. So
happens when the liquor gets to you, man. You just wake up, your voice is nasally, your nose is plugged up. We were lifeless, bro.
Yeah, we were lifeless for a while. Luckily, you got
you have to use you have to drain out your body of all that liquor, man.
Exactly. Drink lots of water, you know, might puke a bit, and then just get back to it. Yeah, man.
We can't close this without telling them we're traveling back to Toronto.
Oh, bro. Yeah, that's a fact.
Bro, like, I was like, there's no way we're wrapping this up without telling them what happened.
That's a fact. So yeah, let me break it down because it's my doing.
This is you.
So basically, the way,
guys, listen to this.
The way we got there is I had the bright idea to use my TDX Expedia reward points, right? Because I'm like, listen, this is the one time I can use my credit card to my advantage, you know, take advantage of all them points. So I go to Expedia and we're trying to find a time, and there's no time to leave on Sunday evening. Everything is Sunday morning. And I'm messaging Owen, I'm like, yo, there's no time to book this at all. That was the first thing. Then there was like one flight in the evening, and that was like triple the price of the regular day flights. I'm like, what the heck? So I finally see a flight, and it had like one layover, it looked like, in Orlando. So I'm like, bet, let's go. So I find that, and I get the hotel all in one package, and I buy it, and I think it was like $2,000 for the whole thing, which was phenomenal, right? For a flight and hotel stay in Atlanta, at a 4-star hotel. So you get that, and I'm thinking it's roses and peaches all the way through. You get to the hotel now, you get to the airport on our way back, and it is the exact opposite. It is...
No, bro.
What's up?
We were listening to the crypto talk.
Yeah.
And I started looking at, it's around like maybe 5 o'clock. And I started looking at the ticket information.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, because I know we have to go get a negative test to be boarding that Delta flight back to Toronto at the end of the day. So we got to go find a CVS pharmacy.
Yep.
So I'm looking at Expedia. I'm like, okay, Atlanta to Orlando. I'm like, whoa, what the Orlando? And then I look below that, Orlando to Detroit, then Detroit to Atlanta. But that flight to Orlando was at 10:45, and we're arriving there at 12ish, right? So then 6-hour layover from 12 a.m. Flight to Detroit is 6:05 till 8. And then we're in Detroit from 8:30, where our flight to Toronto is not until 1:45 p.m. So I look at this at where the conference, I'm like, bruh, did you just peep this? Like, this is what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
And even the people at Delta Airlines, they were like, yo, what the hell is this? You guys are going around the world. It's like, been around the world and now, yeah. That's pretty much how it was.
Yeah.
So we go to CVS pharmacy. They're like, pharmacy's closed. You can't get a negative test. So we go to the clinic. They're like, no, we're not doing PCR or antigen tests. So literally we're screwed at this point. So we get back in the vehicle. We're like, you know what? Let's just go to the airport. You know what? We'll find a way there.
Yeah.
Because we got to return the Enterprise car by 7 p.m. So we had to return that late. So we're just chilling at the airport, wondering like what's next, trying to switch our flight. So we're like, you know, let's just go to Orlando. We'll deal with this later as we're coming back to Toronto. And yeah, man.
It was a horrible flight. It was almost a 24-hour flight. Just to get from
it was horrendous.
Atlanta back to Toronto.
Which is a 2-hour flight.
It's a 2-hour flight. And it was probably the worst way to do it. And all the flights were sold out. There was no way to do it, so it was horrible. And in Florida and Orlando, everybody had their mask off. One family had a mask off in the plane. I was like, dog, this is disgusting. People did not care. It was really annoying to see. Like, it's one thing like if you're outside, if you're in the airport in like a corner or like, you know, where nobody is, but like to be in a plane and to have your whole family take your mask off, it was just disrespectful to everybody on the flight, you know. And
because bro, if we catch COVID,
yeah, like
we gotta like, yeah. So if we catch COVID, we can't even come back to Toronto because we haven't even done our negative test yet. So imagine we get to Michigan, to Romulus, where we end up getting our tests, then we test positive.
Yeah.
We're stuck in Detroit out of all cities.
Yeah. And these people are just so like selfish on having their own way and imposing their beliefs on you that they can't even have the decency just to wear a mask. So this gives you the peace of mind, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like, or someone actually walked with them and told them, hey, you should have your mask on. And then just put it on their chin. And I'm like, yo. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, life in America is different, but you know, I'll continue on with the thing. So we go to the emergency. We get our thing. We drop 2 bills, USD, to get these tests done. We had no other choice, guys. We had no other choice. We had to pay, we had to pay out of our own pocket. I mean, as if we have another option, but we had to pay. So we go back to Delta. You know what happened actually, guys, so we actually go trying to check into the flight because we were on standby for a flight at 10 a.m. that will land in Toronto at like 11:10. We go there. We're showing our negative test, which we took like a couple of days before flying. And buddy at the check-in station is just like, nah, guys, you got to go find a negative test. Like, there was so much resistance. We're like, you're like, I'm vaccinated, whatever. He asked me, oh, are you vaccinated? I'm like, no, I'm not, but I have like this negative test I did. He's like, I'm sorry, guys, you got to go find a negative test to board this 1 o'clock flight. You have 2 hours to do it. So we're scrambling at the airport trying to find like an emergency place. He gives us a suggestion. We call the place. We get the Uber. We go there. We come back. We the
cute Uber, man.
The what?
The Uber that you thought was cute.
Oh yeah. And Al decides to play a prank on me to like tell her like, oh yeah, Owen like thinks you're cute, like da 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 da. I'm like, oh my god. So
word.
Yeah. So we get our tests. We come back, and I was telling Alex, this guy at the station gave us such a hard time about these tests. I was just like, I wanted to shove this negative test in his face. I'm like, you freaking go fucking test, you know what I'm saying? Because we just had to go all the way to Romulus, Michigan to get this test done. So we get on the flight, and this is where things get interesting, guys. Coming back to Toronto, this was a big wake-up call for us. Big wake-up call. This is how the Americans do it. We told you how the Americans do it, but the way the Canadians do it, straight militant.
Facts.
Straight militant. I swear, guys, it felt like you were going through so many stages. So I go check in. Are you declaring anything? You do whatever. How long are you there for? I'm like, are you vaccinated? I'm like, nah. So he gives me this pamphlet that says you have to stay in a quarantine hotel. So I immediately get freaked out. I'm like, Al, I thought you said I'm not staying in a quarantine hotel. He's like, no, you're good, bro. So I'm like, yeah, you have to go get vaccinated again. So we go through these tested. So we go through these like alleyways or whatever. We have to download this app. We have to get a negative test. So they test us and everything. And we order our Ubers because we're so like nervous because we don't know what else they might be thinking about. We're going to call that Owen and Alex guy back. They forgot to do this, and that. We got to take them to this specific room and ask them questions if they interact with everyone. Like I was thinking all these obscure ideas that might happen. And I'm like, I'm not taking the Union bus back home. Like I'm taking a vehicle and I'm going back to the crib. So yeah, but guys, if you're traveling back from America, you're not to download this Arrive Can app. You have to put in your information where you're quarantining. They emailed me today to check in that I'm at the crib. The vid police might knock on your door and see if you're quarantining. So I'm ready for a knock to come in and you open. But we're here in our chambers. We're quarantining. Al is ordering Instacart. I'm stocked up for a couple more days. But quarantine life, man. Quarantine life. This is what you gotta do when you travel, man. You gotta stay at the crib for 14 days. Alex is at his house by himself. His missus had to go to her mom's house. So this is life and traveling in 2021, everyone.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Jeez.
So this also want to clarify for anybody who's thinking about traveling. When you come back to Canada, right? First you have to fill out an app that wants your whole life. They want to know where you at, where you were. They want to know everything about you. They want your social security number. They want your roommate's health. They want to know how much you weigh.
They want to know who's in the crib.
You know what I'm saying? They want to know what you had for dinner the last night. All that. Then after, you have to sign up on another web portal called, what was it? Swish Health. Yeah, another one. And then after, once you've gone through both of those, then you can actually board the plane. And once you get out of there, then they come and ask you a whole bunch of questions saying, You have you brought anything in? Da, 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 da. And then after that, you get ushered in to get another COVID test after you're done.
When we just did a COVID test 2 hours ago, and we're like, guys, we got I have a negative test. We did it within hours.
Yeah.
Like, nope, you gotta get tested again. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, everyone has to get tested again. So after a 24-hour flight, borderline, getting another test was like, can you get away from me, please? Just get away. So, yeah, that's just the process, y'all, if you think about traveling from Canada to anywhere, because getting back is the mission, you know. But that's that on that, guys. That wraps up the podcast. If you have any questions, just want to chop it up with us on network, feel free to send us a DM at 24/7hustler. Make sure you pick up some merch at hustleovereverything.co. Make sure you're supporting the brand, you know, scoop a chef up a t-shirt, mug, hat, whatever. Keep supporting the brand, man. It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. It helps us keep going, keep the pod alive. So
the brand's got legs.
The brand's got legs. You need some shoes to support it. So with that being said, everybody, that wraps the podcast. Hustle what you can't control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen.
And that's also Over Everything podcast, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.